Mr. Kurosaki's Pure Love Never Stops did stop. Actually, it stopped at episode 12. And I want to give you my final thoughts. So here they are. Mr. Kurosaki's Pure Love Never Stops ended exactly like I thought it was going to end, with two folks who are super awkward, who look like they're going to die if they have to do anything above what they gave us in that kiss. And actually, I felt like I would die if they gave us anything above that kiss. I don't think anybody that shot the show, watched the show, played in the show would have survived them doing anything above anything that they did. It ended like the sweet, squeaky clean impression that they wanted to leave us with. But squeaky clean impressions are not what all watchers had when they watched this one. At our favorite place in the world to get A-drama stats and specs, there's quite the debate, if we can call it this, of folks who do not appreciate Mr. Kurosaki. Yeah, like, I know it's amazing that there are people out there that cannot appreciate Mr. Kurosaki for all he is worth. And baby, before I get deterred, who was gonna tell me he was the one from the BL? Why y'all didn't tell me that? Nobody was going to tell me that. Now, I knew that I had remembered his face from somewhere, and it did feel like it was BL, Planet BL. And oh my gosh, it really was. I cannot believe that that got away from me. Yes. So, for those who don't watch BLs, Uri Dear Mr. Kurosaki is the lead in a BL. I know. He is the BL superstar of Emero. That's the Japanese rendering of Candy Color Paradox. And I was like, you know what? I want to see an alter ego of Kyoto because he's too good on this one. So I'm like, oh, we need to toxic him up. And lo and behold, the color paradox, Candy Color Paradox to be exact, is where he was getting his alter ego on. So technically, I got my wish, except it was a damn reverse, baby. Y'all know how it go. The damn lovers in reverse, that card, because it was like, okay, you want his alter ego? Here it is. He's being a good guy. Because in Candy Color Paradox, I don't know, y'all. I'm just saying, his hair was blonde. That's how you know you finna get somebody bad when their hair is blonde. But anyway, especially in J drama world, if your shit's blonde, you're bad. And in AIRAKSARANG world, that's pretty damn good. Now, there are those who are not all that appreciative of Mr. Kurosaki. As a matter of fact, they do not appreciate it at all. That Mr. Kurosaki was, what were their words? You know, taking advantage, manipulating. Oh gosh, do I want to say a word like this? Preying on Haruna. And I just felt like, you know what, baby? No. You know, for me, I don't ever read synopses. So if you guys know this information and I'm off base, you know, namaste, because I'm not trying to be wrong. But I like the drama to just give me what it's got for a poke chop. And that means that I don't know how old these people is. They ain't never told me. When did y'all find out how old Mr. Kurosaki is? Because nobody told me that shit either. I didn't know how old he was on this. I knew he was grown, but I didn't know how far from high school he was. It really doesn't matter to the some folks who watched this, because in their estimation, a grown ass man should not have been dating a high schooler. For me, in my brain, I felt like Haruna was a senior, you know, about to graduate, because it felt like every, conclusion was marry me when you get out of high school. What you gonna do when you finish school? What you want to be when you grow up? So I felt that, okay, she a senior, baby. She kicked the year off 17 or 18, and then she ended at 19, baby, because we know we in Japan, and who knows how that go. But anyway, we know she between 18 and damn 19 when she, 18 or 19 when she graduated. We do know that. So he, from what I gleaned from the comments, was like maybe 24. Okay, so we got 18 to 24. We got a 6-year age gap. Now, a lot of this protestation, I don't take at all because you do have people who watch dramas who are religiously against age gaps. Religiously. They don't give a damn if it's the female lead, the male lead, but usually they really kind of scream the loudest when it's the female lead that's younger for some reason, as if a guy can't be taken advantage of. But um I don't really count their protestations as much because they are going to raise a stink no matter what the drama is, no matter what it's about, no matter who it is. The best that I can give for those who use AIRAKSARANG to maybe help them find dramas that they want to watch is, if you're new to J Drama Land, J Drama Land is the home of the taboo love story. It is. The only ones running a close second with them are Tai. Now I know that a lot of folks who kick it off in A Drama Land, and see, I'm trying not to use my favorite word. I don't want to get kicked off YouTube too fast, y'all. So go to my podcast and do a little treasure hunt and see if you can find the word I use for people who are brand new to this. But true to this. You could be true to it, but be brand new. But the bottom line is, when you first kick it off in A Drama Land, you kick it off in K Drama Land. And they're so shiny over there that if you don't catch it, you will stay parked there forever. This is why we end up with Boyfriend on Demand, why we end up with horrible dramas like that, because there are folks who park it in K-Drama Land. And if that's you, I ain't mad at you, baby. I ain't mad at you. Why? Because the classic era of A-drama watching, the golden era between 2000 and 2017, K-dramas, you could just stay there for the rest of your life. We'll be shoveling dirt on you and you'll still be watching a drama because there's that many of them to absorb. But for most of us, at some point, we get a little satiated, if I can say that, and at some point, John Ling Huz gon' cross your damn screen. Jing Baran. You know what I'm saying? One day you gonna be like, who the fuck is Johnny? You're gonna be like, hold on. I know I only watch K-dramas, but I saw Wang Yibo in something, I want to see what the hell that's about. And that's where your rabbit hole truly begins, because then you realize that every locale has its aesthetic. J Drama Land is probably the aesthetic that most people struggle with the most. Because up until, I'm talking about a couple years ago, J Drama Land, they were notorious for fucking the hair up. Now, they didn't think they was fucking hair up. But, when you're in the same waters with Hanguk, they know if they don't know how to do shit else over there in Hanguk, they gonna turn you loose with your motherfucking hair combed and your makeup gonna be right. And depending on the drama, your clothes gonna be right too. You can't always, depend on the clothes, but in comparison to other locales, they gonna cut you loose. They not gonna let you leave out they damn house looking crazy. J Drama Land, their aesthetic takes a little something to get used to, but it don't take long. When you like 3/4 of the way done with the drama, you like, okay, I finally get it. They fine, you fine, he fine, everybody fine. So you're fine. But when it comes to the storytelling method, they're also extremely passionate, and that lends a lot of taboo, I guess you could say. And if I could just create a barometer, I guess, in your mind, if you're not really a J drama watcher, but you listen to me anyway, thank you so much. But if I could just create like a spectrum, let's do that. And I have to place Mr. Kurosaki on that spectrum, y'all. He'll be right there at the fucking origin. The zero. Not like the equator zero in the middle, but I'm talking about like at the edge on the left hand side where you're not even on the motherfucker. Like you're not even on the spectrum. You're like the handles holding the spectrum up. That is Mr. Kurosaki's pure love never stops. By all of that, I'm saying this shit's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Those people who allow, um, a very religious um inspiration. I don't mean they're Christians or Buddhists or whatever they are watching the show. I'm talking about they get in the comments, and baby, when you get through reading a comment, you think to yourself, I don't think dramas are what you think they are. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you ended up in the place you was looking for. Because the place you looking for is like C-SPAN or some shit. I don't know. Do they still even play C-SPAN, y'all? I don't know. All I'm saying is you ended up in the wrong place. I know they have some places where you can go look at some docu. That's what it is. You need to go look at some documentaries or some shit. Like, for real. Because my love of dramas are like this. This philosophy is super simple. And if you struggle to separate your morality or something from these dramas, struggle no more. Because if you just follow this really easy line of thinking, you will never struggle in your life when it comes to a drama world. And this is what you follow. Okay? Listen closely. So first, toxicity is mandatory in a good drama. Doesn't matter which locale. We need lots of toxicity. What do you mean, AIRAKSARANG? We have progressed. Women mean something. Men are not, gonna be ruling us or something. Nobody's saying that. But I am saying that you want the boy, the guy, the dude, the man to be a red flag. Now, I know that I don't really have any people that didn't like Kurosaki listening to this podcast because they would have lit my ass up. But that's what you need. You need a red flag guy. The only drama that could pull off a green flag, and I'm talking about from the word go to the word no, is Amidst a Snowstorm of Love starring Wu Lei. Okay? That, I don't know how they did that. I really don't know what they did. But as long as you remember, when it comes to A Drama Land, and if you need a more broader, like a broader overlay of this, fiction requires toxicity. It's okay. You can bring your heroes in, and yes, your male lead should evolve. Okay, think about Junpyo from Boys Over Flowers. It's okay for him to be an asshole. It is. But we need to see the asshole have some humanity. It's okay. Because if a lot of these people that bang on about their personal, political position when it comes to watching a drama, that's fine. Do what you want to do, baby. Do what you want to do. But who the fuck is out here perfect like that? I mean, who's perfect? Really? And you're asking for a perfect story. Now, what Adak is asking for, I don't know that this, as a matter of fact, I know it isn't perfection because I can see the glaring holes in every drama I like. A whole bunch. But you need to be able to give me what the fuck I came here for. If this is a romance, they better be kissing, they better be hugging, and shit. That's what has to happen. If it's a mystery, you better give me a mystery. If it's sci-fi, I better not be able to breathe, and I'm real thirsty because we in the desert of Pluto or some shit. That's all I'm saying. With Mr. Kurosaki, they made that little funky little 6-year age gap a real hoo-ha, and it wasn't. It really wasn't. Nobody, and this is what makes it paradoxical, if I can be tongue-in-cheek, because that's the name of his English rendering of his BL. You cannot expect to watch a drama like this and they give you anything except whatever the hell they wanted it to give you. Like, They were not going to give us anything above and beyond what we got pretty much in the first episode. Nobody is ever saying that it is okay in real life. And that was what I was trying to draw the paradox of. It's okay for us to morally like dramas that are toxic. And I think some watchers, they just really struggle with separation when it comes to drama watching. But again, do exactly like you want to do. If you need your agenda to follow you everywhere you go, including in a drama world and land, you don't have no complaints from me. But as for Irak Sarang, I'm going to go into the drama, and I just want you to give me what the hell I came here for, which is always going to be the love, love, love. And did they give us that in this? I'm guessing they gave it to us. They gave us an extremely cranial, extremely sweet. You know what this book, I guess that's why I'm calling it a book, because as a love story writer, as a published author who publishes love stories, we all know that there are different types of love stories. And if this story was in book form, it would be your clean romance. And we know going in, baby, if you get a story that has clean romance in parentheses, and then you get into that damn review section and you light the author up for not giving you more spice, who has the problem here? The writer or you? Some would say neither one because you didn't, do the right thing. But the bottom line is, I knew from my first impression what I was going to get with Mr. Kurosaki. I was going to get a panicked, socially awkward guy who, if he did anything toe curling in the 12th episode, it would be out of character. Like, it wouldn't even make sense. Does AIRAKSARANG want romance at all costs? No, not when it doesn't make sense. Most stories that I'm watching, they make sense for them to give us what we want. But with Mr. Kurosaki, it's clean romance. And I mean, extremely clean. And as far as that age gap, for me, there's nothing to see here because Mr. Kurosaki kind of lived up to what he said from word go. And that was that his love never stopped. And because of that, I have to agree with him because my love of him hasn't stopped either. Talk to you in the next drama.